But to return to Philip K. Dick, ultimately the Valis enigma is difficult to interpret with any absolute sense of certainty about what took place that day in March of 1974. It shines with points of illumination whose meaning remains elusive against the explanations of prosaic reality. What we do know is that, for whatever reason, in whatever fashion, Philip Dick had almost the entire Illuminist Freemasonic mythos fired into his brain, and that he struggled with those images, trying to make sense of their symbolism for the short period of time that remained in his life. That's from Saucers of the Illuminati by Jim Keith. This is an Adventures Unlimited press book. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I, like you, my friends, become discouraged from time to time because I realize that there is only a very small number of people that ultimately will take that stand, that will ultimately step in front of the soldiers as they come to rape and kill the women, that ultimately will balk at the new neo-feudalism that's coming, that will ultimately take steps to reverse or dismantle the corporate state that is going to come to govern us in rollerball-like fashion in the future, and realize that so many people, even people who are aware of what is really going on, will just roll over and accept whatever comes their way. And it becomes discouraging to think that I and many of you who watch me will be relying upon a very small group of people who will be dedicated to preserving our future, our liberty, our justice, and the common dreams of all humanity to attain some level of impact on our local environment, to have some semblance of joy and happiness in our lives, to have the means to provide for ourselves and our family, to do all of the things that humans strive to do, because all of those things are systematically being crushed in a way that you all know of, that I've talked of many times, and I could tell you a whole litany of things that have happened this week that we could all cry and throw our arms in the air and beat our chests against. But the fact is that when you boil it all down, there's only a very small, dedicated group of people that will take that stand. And I'm telling you, all of you who are part of that dedicated small group of people who will take a stand when the time comes, that will say no to the draconian measures that are coming down. Be prepared. Be prepared for disappointment and disillusionment. Because I know there are a lot of you out there who think that just one or two more things that happen to the people in this country, that's going to be enough to cause them to say, that's it, we're done, we're finished. But I'm telling you right now, it isn't. It isn't. And if it comes down to the neo-feudalism that I've been diatribing against for a while, and that you've heard from a lot of other people, I'm sure, where we're basically serfs that live and die at the whim of our elitist masters and serve their every need and desire, that the gradual steps that lead to that point, including the eugenic killing of millions, perhaps billions of people on this planet to get the population down to what the elites want it to be at, the people will roll over and accept that. They will. The vast majority of them will. That's just the fact of life. So, stop believing that just one more thing is going to cause everybody to finally say, that's it, I've had enough. That's the end of taking away my liberties. That's the end of crushing my civil rights. That's the end of my acquiescence. Because it's not going to happen. You need to realize the people that you know who are in that small group of people who will take that stand, that you really are alone. But just remember that in history, it doesn't take an entire nation to cause change. We've seen it happen before. If there are people who are dedicated enough, they can enact the change that they desire. A change back to what this country represented. A change back to the basic dignity of humanity. A change back to a basic access to all things that make us human and give us the desires, the wants, and the drive to achieve and to be something more than simply a robot at someone's disposal. I wanted you to remember that you're going to be alone. You will be alone, and you will be crushed as your closest friends, family, neighbors, and friends roll over and accept the roving killing machines, the eugenic murder, and the neo-feudalism. All of these people will roll over and accept it. The vast majority of people will. But because there is a small group of dedicated people who will stand up and take that stand, we still have a chance to defeat everything that's coming our way. While I don't have a specific message for something that you should be doing, you should at least be considering the fact that you may be alone, but there are others like you. And it's because of you and others like you, a small, dedicated core group of people that will take that stand, that we have hope for the future. That's my message for today.